far abroad is going to end up in Turkey. Well, actually, it didn't end up in Turkey. It ended up with a visit to our troops in Iraq. But it was the president himself who led that effort. I think all of us should understand it's his wisdom, it's his desire, it's his recognition that relations between Turkey and the United States are tremendously important. We met with our ambassador. The ambassador has been in Turkey 3 previous times, so he is on his 4th tour of duty in Turkey. He speaks Turkish. He was there 9 years ago when we began the dual diploma programs. He said, and I think this is true, for the long-term future, and by long-term it's not that many years, the most important thing we are doing now is sending students from Turkey to the United States. The other side of that coin is, and I urge that all of you Turkish students work on your American SUNY colleagues. The other side of it is, it's just as important for our students to go to Turkey and have an experience there as it is for you to come and have some experience here. So any way you can do it, work on that. Try to get them going. Your Vice Provost for International Education, Dr. Bromley, and all of the staff here who work on international education, we will find a way for them to get there. If you get them interested, we'll grease the skids under them so that they can't miss getting to Turkey. It's a delight to be with you. It's an exciting time to be studying in this country. It's an even more exciting time for those of us who work on the relationship between the 2 countries. And now that you have studied with us, this relationship is going to color the rest of your life, I believe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Gosende. Now we invite Mr. George Phillips, the President of the University of Albany, to the stage to make introductory remarks. Mr. Phillips.
My voice is as loud as his, but I'm hiding the fact that I have prepared remarks. And it's hard to do that. One, it's great to be here. I'm particularly happy to be around the food in the back, which is the food I grew up with. As many of you know, my parents are both immigrants from Cyprus, and all of the food that's back there is the food. And actually, the Great Lakes are almost as good as my mother's. I am really privileged to be here to commemorate Turkish Day. We also celebrate this Thursday's National Sovereignty and Children's Day in Turkey. Many thanks to the board members of the Turkish Student Association for organizing this event, and many thanks for inviting me to attend. We have about 40 Turkish students at the University of Albany. Most are graduate students. A few are undergraduate students who are enrolled, and some others are enrolled in our intensive English class. You are esteemed members of our UAlbany community, and we're very happy to have you here. UAlbany is proud to have about 1,300 international students on campus. You enrich the cultural fabric of our campus and expand our worldview. Due to the outstanding efforts of people like Dean Philip Naska of the School of Public Health and Ray Bromley, the university's Vice Provost for International Education, we are increasing our international student population. Both Ray and Phil have been to Ankara this year to foster student exchange programs through the Turkish government. Their work promises to result in new joint master's programs and other fruitful collaborations. Ray and Phil, in turn, have been sustained and inspired by the SUNY-wide initiatives in Turkey fostered by Ambassador Robert Gosende. Ambassador Gosende, congratulations for the outstanding work that you do for the entire SUNY system. Your work has resulted in the establishment of a dual diploma program between Turkish universities and several of our sister SUNY organizations. This is one of the most important international initiatives ever undertaken by the SUNY system. In 2007, it was recognized for its excellence when it was named the first winner of the International Institute of International Education's Pascal Award for International Exchange Partnerships. I think I got that right as a long time. Thank you again. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Professor of Planning and Geography and Public Policy and the University's Vice Provost for International Education, Ray Bromley.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues. My sincere thanks, first of all, to President Asil Isdou and all of the Turksa officers for inviting me this evening and for creating this event. It's my honor to follow Ambassador Gosende and President Philip. With its European characteristics, its traditions of scholarship, its moderately high level of economic development, with a population approaching 80 million, and with significant population growth, meaning many young people in need of higher education, Turkey is in a race to build its higher education system. It is creating many new universities. I had the privilege of visiting 3 of its more established universities in Ankara and seeing the wonderful facilities and meeting many of the excellent researchers that they have. I was especially impressed, actually, with Middle East Technical University's nanotechnology program, which was impressive, to say the least. But it's still in a race to build and expand the system. And so there are some very real possibilities right now of substantial numbers of Turkish scholars doing doctoral degrees. Some of them actually coming to the University of Albany. Some of them spending a semester or a year in their doctoral program with a Turkish university, visiting the University of Albany. Some of them coming on postdoctoral fellowships, and all of them going to eventually staff Turkey's new and peripheral universities. We would very, very much like to be involved in that program, and we've been having discussions with the Higher Education Commission and with the Turkish Ministry of Education about this. We also have a growing number of Turkish students now in our intensive English language program, and we would very much like to see additional growth in that area. It's perhaps unfortunate that the University of Albany didn't enter into the dual diploma wave when that was initiated a few years ago, but we still hope very much that we can enter as a latecomer and perhaps have 1 or 2 or 3 such programs. And we have a very active discussion right now for a program in biostatistics, a master's program at Hacettepe University, sharing students doing half of the master's degree in each of the 2 institutions. Faculty connections with Turkey are growing. You will soon be hearing from Professor Friedman, and I think it's no secret her husband, Professor Rajai Yücel, have begun a regular interaction with Turkey. And also we now have an interaction with Yeditepe University through the work of Professor Istvan Keşkis and the TESOL program in the School of Education. So connections are beginning to appear, especially with public health, with education, and I think there are very strong hopes, especially with social welfare and public administration. Hopefully, and this is the more difficult quest, we can begin to awaken interest in our 17,000 or so American students in Turkey, a country which has one of the richest histories in the world and an extraordinary sense of interest. And perhaps someday we can even awaken serious study of Turkish language and culture here in the midst of